This is Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl, Junior Edition. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Welcome to another edition of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl Junior Edition. We are so glad that you are here. We wrap up the month of July by filling the last seat in our Final Four. Last weekend, St. Bridget put up the second highest point total so far this season with a pretty impressive win, but we'll see what kind of scores these two teams rack up because there's the potential for some pretty high scores in this game as well. Say hello to All Saints Catholic Academy. Henry led the Phoenix in their last game to a pretty strong win over North Boone. You have to be still excited about that a little bit. Henry, introduce us to your starting lineup.
So on my far right we have Timmy, on my right we have Trinity, and on my left we have Nora.
Welcome, All Saints. Facing off against Winnebago Middle School. Say hello to them. This is Winnebago's first appearance this season. Last year, they made it to the Final Four. A win today puts them back there. Micah, that would be a pretty sweet way to wrap up this game. Introduce us to who you brought with you.
To my right is Gabe, to my left is Malia, and to my far left is Kaylin.
Welcome to Winnebago Middle School. Are you ready to play? Shall we? We begin like we always do with our buzz-in round, so hands on your buzzers. Two most important rules. Wait for me to call your name before you answer, and then say that answer loudly and clearly. Here we go with our first question this week. Good luck, contestants. What section of the U.S. Constitution declares the author's intentions to ensure domestic tranquility? Micah.
Preamble.
That's right. Establishing a more perfect union begins We the People, and now that song is planted in our head for the rest of the game because of Schoolhouse Rock. Winnebago gets the first points. Name the Shakespeare play in which the Queen Mab speech is given by Mercutio while walking with Benvolio, and one of the play's two title star-crossed lovers. Henry.
Romeo and Juliet.
That is right. What team won the last Super Bowl with wide receivers, won its last Super Bowl with wide receivers Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, and Jordy Nelson, but has lost 4 NFC Championship games since then under quarterback Aaron Rodgers? Micah.
The Packers.
That is correct. Sorry for the reminder, Packers fans. Winnebago gets those points. Name the cell organelle that divides into two during mitosis to pass on DNA to two daughter cells. Micah.
Nucleus.
Yes, and that is the information center of the cell. Name the U.S. city whose namesake bay contains the former Alcatraz prison and the Golden Gate Bridge. Nora.
California.
Incorrect. I will finish. There's nothing left for Winnebago. You know the answer. Go ahead and buzz in, Winnebago. Micah.
San Francisco.
Yes, San Francisco. We needed the city, not the state. What kind of vehicle is shown being towed in The Fighting Temeraire, a J.M.W. Turner painting of a decommissioned one of these vessels being towed to harbor? Harbor might have been a big clue. It was a ship or a boat. We'd have taken either one of those. What mathematical term is cubed in the formula for the volume of a sphere, since it measures half of a circle's diameter? Micah.
Radius.
Yes, that is half of a diameter radius. Name the Norse god who is destined to battle the Midgard serpent at Ragnarok and who wields... Gabe.
Thor.
Yep, the short-handled hammer Mjolnir in his role as the god of thunder. And his dad reminds him he is not the god of hammers, he is the god of thunder. Name the plant structure that contains the stamen and carpel, reproductive organs that are surrounded by this structure's colorful petals. Henry.
Flower.
Yes, that is right. What African country contains the ruins of Memphis and the Giza necropolis, which are near the modern city of Cairo on the... Michael.
Egypt.
Micah, yes, and you're correct as well, on the Nile River. Which musical instrument is played by Louis Armstrong on Hello, Dolly? Henry.
Trumpet.
Yes, and by Dizzy Gillespie, who puffed out his cheeks to blow into this high-pitched brass instrument. Articles like an and the can be classified as what part of speech that can be modified by an adverb and describes something about a noun? Micah.
Adjective.
Yes, that is correct. Another Schoolhouse Rock reference. What singer has released albums titled Plus, Multiply, Divide, and Equals, the last of which features the hits Shivers and Bad Habits? Henry.
Ed Sheeran.
Yes. Shape of You and Perfect are probably his biggest hits. What name is shared by the Sun King, the husband of Marie Antoinette, and the only sainted king of France, after whom a city in Missouri is named? Micah.
Louis?
Yes. St. Louis, St. Louis. Those are your points. What type of rock develops from a protolith and, after being exposed to high pressure and temperature, becomes something that is neither igneous nor sedimentary? Kaylin.
Metamorphic.
That is correct. You get those points, takes you up to 100, and that's how we end the round. So Winnebago gets up to triple digits. All Saints not too far behind at 40 points. The game is early. We're only one round into a 4-round game. So the next one is volleyball, and we'll have it for you after this break. One round into this week's Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl Junior Edition. Winnebago's already in triple digits. They have 100, but All Saints is not that far behind at 40. Before we get to our volleyball round, we want to send out a very special thank you to Gordon Eggers. Gordon is our judge today. Gordon is also the recently retired CEO of Crusader Community Health, but a very busy guy and a longtime community advocate. In fact, he serves the community right now in one of his many roles as a member of the board for the Golden Apple Foundation. So we appreciate you being here, Gordon, but maybe more importantly, we appreciate everything that you do for our community. All right, our volleyball round, contestants, is a back and forth. Because of the coin flip, Winnebago will get the first question. Remember, you can work as a team. That's encouraged, but answers have to come from the captains. Micah, are you ready for your first question? Here we go. AZT is an antiretroviral medication used to treat and prevent what syndrome caused when the HIV virus weakens the immune system? HIV leads to AIDS. That was the syndrome that we were looking for. Over to All Saints for your first question of the round. Henry. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis are the swashbuckling title characters of what adventure novel by Alexandre Dumas? Their popular phrase was all for one and one for all. Those are the Three Musketeers. Back to Winnebago. Name the U.S. state where Frank Lloyd Wright built his first Taliesin near Spring Creek and the Airplane House in Madison.
Wisconsin?
Yeah, that last city probably was a good clue. First points of the round for you, Bago. You're now up to 110. Back over to All Saints. What science fiction franchise's recent TV series includes a show that stars Sonequa Martin Green as Michael Burnham, Spock's adoptive sister who serves on the USS Discovery?
Star Trek.
Star Trek is right. You hesitated a little bit, but you knew it. And those are your first points of the round. Back to Bago. To argue for managing the national debt, 2 reports on public credit were written by what first U.S. Secretary of the Treasury who appears on the modern $10 bill?
Alexander Hamilton?
Kalen knew that. He's the $10 founding father without a father, right? Winnebago's points. Let's move back over to All Saints. A Great Barrier on the northeast coast of Australia is the world's largest example of what colorful aquatic system?
Coral Reef.
Coral Reef. Yep. Great Barrier Reef, Coral Reef. You got it. Orogeny, in which tectonic plates compress and lift each other up, is the process by which what tall landforms are created?
Mountains?
Yes. Even despite my bad phrasing of that question, you knew it. Nice work. Back to All Saints. What name is given to both a segment connecting a triangle's vertex and its opposite midpoint, as well as the middle number of a set of numbers?
Medium.
Say that again.
Medium.
Incorrect. Median. Median. No M on the end of that. Back to Winnebago. A frustrating message system that lets people warn other players about ladders that are right in front of them is a much criticized part of what 2022 From Software open world Souls-like game? Incorrect. Elden Ring. Back to All Saints. Nick Carraway narrates what F. Scott Fitzgerald novel whose title figure throws lavish parties in West Egg in an attempt to win Daisy Buchanan back? Tobey Maguire actually played Nick in the 2013 film version of The Great Gatsby. And that's how we end the round, so no points for that question. It's a 70-point game right now. Winnebago has 130. All Saints has 60. It's roughly halftime. We come back with our halftime show. It's our Bergstrom bonus question. You'll see the question now, and we'll be back with the answer in just a couple of minutes.
Primarily known for his roles in the Fast and the Furious franchise, which former WWE champion got animated for the 2016 film Moana?
We are halfway through our game this week with a spot in the Final Four on the line. Winnebago is in the lead right now with 130. All Saints has 60. Before we get to questions worth points, how about one for worth pizza and pasta from our friends at Lino's of Rockford? It's our Bergstrom bonus question. Our audience at home watching, they've already seen this. You haven't, so hands on your buzzers. Let me know if you know the answer. Primarily known for his roles in the Fast and the Furious franchise, which former WWE champion, Kalen?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That is correct. Got animated for the 2016 film Moana. His latest animated feature, DC League of Super Pets, hit screens this weekend, and you get to smell what Lino's is cooking. Nice work. You win that pizza party for your team. We'll take a break and come back with our Nika IBEW lightning round. This is a close match for our last Final Four spot here in the Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl Junior Edition. Winnebago is in the lead right now with 130. All Saints has 60, but our Nika IBEW lightning round could change all that very quickly. And because of our coin flip, All Saints gets first pick. So Henry, these are your three categories this week: state capitals, mythical Greek animals, or organs of the body.
Organs of the body.
All right. Name the following internal human organs from their locations and functions. So I'll tell you their location and function. Your answers will be whatever that organ is. You'll have 60 seconds. If you run the category, that's 100 points added to your total. And then Micah, you and the team will have 30 seconds to get to what they don't. Advice to both teams: you can pass. Henry, are you ready for your first one?
Yes.
Name the following internal human organs from their locations and functions. In the chest, pumps blood through the body.
Heart.
Correct. Below the esophagus, uses acid to digest food.
Stomach.
Correct. In the skull, lobed organ that sends instructions to the rest of the body.
Brain.
Correct. In the chest, paired organs full of alveoli.
Lungs.
Correct. Right side of the abdomen, makes bile and can be damaged by cirrhosis.
Liver.
Correct. In the back of the abdomen, paired organs that send waste to the bladder.
Kidney.
Correct. Functionless vestigial organ attached to the cecum of the intestines.
Pass.
Abdominal digestive organ, releases insulin.
Pancreas.
Correct. Abdominal lymphatic organ, filters red blood cells in its red pulp.
Pass.
Small organ that releases bile into the intestines.
Gallbladder.
Correct. Functionless vestigial organ attached to the cecum of the intestines. No time to get back to that. Pretty solid job. You added 80 to your score. You are now in the lead by 10 points. Winnebago, there's 2 left, so if you get these correct, you'll be on top. You have 30 seconds. Take all the time you need, or you can blaze through them if you want. Micah, are you ready for this first one? Name the following internal human organs from their locations and functions. Functionless vestigial organ attached to the cecum of the intestines.
Pass.
Abdominal lymphatic organ, filters red blood cells in its red pulp.
Pass.
Functionless vestigial organ attached to the cecum of the intestines. "30 seconds is a long time. If you feel free at some point, if you need to, you can say no answer. That one, vestigial organ means it really doesn't serve any purpose anymore. It's an appendix. A lot of people get that taken out. And then the abdominal lymphatic organ that filters red blood cells in its red pulp is the spleen. So All Saints is on top by 10. But now, Micah, it's your chance to pick from the 2 categories that remain: state capitals or mythical Greek animals.
Mythical Greek animals.
All right. Name these animals that appear in famous Greek myths. Some are specific named animals, and some are a general type of animal. So you need to listen to the question or the description very carefully. Same rules, 60 seconds for you. Henry, you'll have 30 seconds for whatever they don't get. It's a 10-point game right now, pretty tight. Here comes your first one. Micah, are you ready? Name these animals that appear in famous Greek myths. Three-headed dog that guards Hades.
Cerberus.
Correct. Bellerophon's winged horse.
Pegasus.
Correct. Animals sent by Hera to kill the baby Heracles.
Pass.
This kind of big cat whose skin Heracles wears.
Lion.
Correct. The kind of animal that fathered the Minotaur.
Pass.
Sun bird that regenerates in fire.
Phoenix.
Correct. Creature with the back half of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle.
Griffin.
Correct. Monster made of many animal parts, including the heads of a goat, a lion, and a snake.
Pass.
Horse-like animal whose ears Apollo gave to Midas as a curse.
Donkey.
Correct. The kind of wild animal with golden horns that pulled the chariot of Artemis.
Pass.
Animals sent by Hera to kill the baby Heracles. No time to get back to that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're up to 190 now. But there are 4 left on the board for you, Henry. If you answer those correctly, you will be within 10 points of them, if I'm doing my math correctly. Are you ready for your first one? 30 seconds is on the clock after I read this. Name these animals that appear in famous Greek myths. Animals sent by Hera to kill the baby Heracles.
Snakes.
That's correct. The kind of animal that fathered the Minotaur.
Bull.
Correct. A monster made of many animal parts, including the heads of a goat, a lion, and a snake.
Chimera.
We'll take that, correct. And the kind of wild animal with golden horns that pulled the chariot of Artemis.
Stag.
That is correct. Nothing to go back to. You got all of them. So you brought yourself within 10 points. It is a very close game. There's nothing to go back to and recap. So we will move on. We have 1 round left to play in this game. It's the Mercy Health Final Challenge, and games aren't usually this close. There's 10 points between our teams. We'll finish it up after this break. These are clearly a couple of very evenly matched teams fighting it out for the last spot in the Final Four. Only 10 points separate them, and each question in this round is worth 20 points. So this score could go back and forth pretty quickly depending on how fast you are in the buzzers and how quickly you are to give accurate answers. So the Mercy Health Final Challenge is the same as our first round other than that point change, and especially when the game is so close, the 2 most important rules: wait for me to call your name before you answer, and say that answer loudly and clearly. Good luck to our teams. Deep breath. Here's our first question in the final challenge. What object in space, which is 1 astronomical unit from Earth, has a corona made of plasma that experiences namesake flares? Micah.
Sun.
Yes, that is the sun, and you get the first points of the round. What kind of transportation system was finished at Promontory Point with a golden spike and allowed? Micah.
Transcontinental Railroad.
Yes, we'll take that and allowed transcontinental travel. What artist's EP7 is the shortest release to be nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys and includes the songs Rodeo, Panini, and Old Town Road? Kaylin.
Lil Nas X.
That is correct. 3 in a row for Winnebago. Name the author who included the stories Rikki Tikki Tavi and Tumai of the Elephants in The Jungle Book. Jungle Book was written by Rudyard Kipling. What mathematical term describes the outer edge of a 2-dimensional shape and is equal to 4? Micah.
Perimeter.
Yes, 4 times the side length of a square or the sum of the 3 sides of a triangle. Name the profession of people who followed the Bushido Code and fought for daimyos. Timmy.
Samurai.
Yes, feudal lords in medieval Japan. All Saints' first points of the round. What mountain range has peaks like the Matterhorn and Mont Blanc and forms parts of the borders of Austria, Switzerland, Italy, and France? Micah.
The Alps.
Yes, those are the Alps. What material did Michelangelo use to sculpt Pietà, a sculpture of Mary cradling the body of Jesus? Gabe.
Marble.
Yes, and his white stone, David. Name the mile-high American city on the South Platte River near the Red Rocks Amphitheater that is the capital city of Colorado. Nora.
Denver.
Yes, that is right. That is the Mile High City. What kind of disaster inspired Anne Bradstreet to write that her, quote, hope and treasure lies above, even though her pleasant things in ashes lie, when it destroyed her house in 1666? Annabelle.
Fire.
That is correct. The poem was verses upon the burning of our house. Hippias was an early tyrant of what city whose 5th century BCE golden age was primarily overseen by Pericles and included the building of the Parthenon? Henry.
Greece.
Incorrect. I will finish for Winnebago. Of the Parthenon, Micah.
Athens.
Athens in Greece. That was the city. What American author wrote short stories like The Mask of the Red Death and The Murders in the Rue Morgue, revolutionizing the genres of detective fiction and horror? Micah.
Edgar Allan Poe.
That is right, Edgar Allan Poe. Which of China's 4 great inventions is made from a combination of sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter? Henry.
Gunpowder.
Yes, and can produce an explosion when ignited. You get the last points of the round, but it's not enough. Winnebago with 350 points. Congratulations. What a great game, first of all. You are moving on. Nice work. You will face St. Bridget in the Final Four. I paused a couple of times because I didn't want to interrupt your applause. It sounded like they started, then stopped, then started, then stopped. But congratulations. You are moving on. All Saints, sorry to see you go. We're glad that you played. This is your first time in our tournament. Did you have fun? I hope so. Those are all smiling faces. And when a team doesn't go on to the next round, its faces aren't always as smiling and cheerful as those. So we hope they come back. Are any of you 8th graders? So Annabelle, we may see you this fall on Boylan's team. Maybe, possibly. And then the rest of you, Henry, you come back and lead them in our juniors tournament next summer. Is that a deal? Yes. All right, deal. And then next week we actually begin August with our first Final Four matchup. That one features Keith versus Marshall. Hope you can join us for that.